Dante Greco.
Dante is a really smart guy.
Ladies love Dante. Look at that head of hair. Look at that face. What's your name?
Dante Greco.
Dante was me, yours truly.
I'm gonna come.
Hello, America. Welcome to the Dante Greco Show. We're live here again from our favorite spot, the Shuki International Studio. Oh my God, there's so much creativity going on in here at all times. I'm here with Joe, the Joy of Everything. Is it Joy of Everything on YouTube also?
Yeah.
The Joy of Everything. He's on YouTube and especially on TikTok. The man is a master streamer, incredible content. You gotta follow him. You gotta watch. And we're here for another day of news and TMZ stories and whatever else happens and Shuki and just like a lot of fun. So here we are. Let's get right into it. Hello to Joe's audience. I'm Dante Greco.
We got our stream going here.
Ex-TMZ ally. I don't know who we would call each other, but
Colleague.
So
I hope you guys can hear. Can you guys hear okay?
can you hear us well on the TikTok?
I want to make sure you guys can hear.
Great. What's up, everybody? So much news today. We have the sad separation of Sofia Vergara and Joe Manganiello. It's over. The real question is who gets the tiny little dog. Now, I'm gonna have to talk about this again with my fiance later because you know she likes it. We like to think of ourselves as Joe and Sofia sometimes, or Ben and J-Lo. But they have a tiny little dog. Joe fell in love with it. It's Sophia's dog. Does she say, no, you can never see the dog again? I want to rip your heart out. Or is it really an amicable divorce? And, you know, they're going to like have some, because they don't have kids. I don't think they have kids. So they're going to share the dog, I assume. Hopefully. That's the most important thing, right? Who keeps the dog? Do you have any dogs?
No.
No. Okay. Well, listen.
I love dogs though.
We love dogs. We love dogs. It's tough to have a dog if you. This is why I didn't have a dog for many years. You just don't necessarily have the time. When I was at TMZ, I would be out like 10, 12 hours a day in the field looking for content. So it would be cruel and unusual to keep a dog locked up at home all day.
Yeah.
Especially because we would get stuck on assignments all the time. And toward the end there, they'd be like, we had this one boss who would be like, hey, would you mind working 4 hours extra? And I'd say, I don't know. It's not really, you know, we don't get paid overtime anymore. You give us a salary. We don't get paid by the hour. And he'd be like, well, what's your objection to working overtime? You know, it was just a nightmare.
Yeah.
So,
And that's the way the media and film, TV, entertainment industry is, no matter what. Even if you work in like stage productions, you end up working 17-hour days with no thank you.
It's insane. You hear that, Iger?
Yeah.
And David Zaslav from Warner Brothers. Okay, stop it. You're abusing your powers. We have to, I don't know about you, but I have to be on the side of the strikers. You know, I'm a creative. I work in the industry. In some, if you call this working in the industry, I work with the industry and around it. So, you know, I got to be on the, I'm not, like I said on my last show, I'm not in the C-suite. So CEO pay is none of my concern yet. But the minute it is, I'll be glad to put down that strike violently and with force. Anyways, what's going on? How are your lovely, by the way, Joe's followers have been so nice to me. Thank you all. Anyone who's followed or just watched the videos or liked anything that I've done, thank you. It's always a joy to be on the Joy of Everything.
Yeah, and I love Dante's content. I think his comedy and his approach to, you know, the daily editorial process of news and pop culture, it's some of the best. So, and like I said, he was one of the best interviewers that I've ever seen, not outside of TMZ. And I was just talking to this off camera. Dante is excellent at interviewing. The way he listens and the way he delivers his questions, and he's got one of the best voices. So I definitely want to direct you guys to check out the Dante Greco Show on TikTok and then also on YouTube. So give him a follow, the Dante Greco Show.
Thank you. We're trying to get to 1,000. I'm 121 people short of 1,000, and then I can go live on TikTok and I can stop hijacking Joe's lives. for my own needs.
Definitely give him a follow, and you'll love it. You'll love it.
Yeah, I forgot to mention, I didn't even realize Ariana Grande and her husband, Dalton Gomez, are also separating. It's Divorce Monday. You know, that one surprises me way less. Sophia and Joe were together for 7 years. It seemed like they really had a good thing going, a strong bond. But Ariana and Dalton, she's been off shooting Wicked, and there's delays, and like she is just a total. You know, look, I don't want to be rude, but I think she has. When you're in the music industry, you get praised by the people around you. I'd say even more so. You're even more coddled than you are as an actress. So I just think that like it's hard for someone like her, who's like the focal point of a major operation, to give the time necessary to a relationship, especially to a guy who's not famous. I mean, who is Dalton Gomez?
Who is Dalton Gomez?
I
know Gomez Adams.
She should have been with Gomez Adams.
And you've touched on this aspect and this phenomena before, most recently with Taylor Swift, and how she commands, you know, such a massive, you know, organization. I mean, and brand.
She's a businessman, as Jay-Z once said.
Jay-Z said that?
That was one of his
she's
songs.
A business.
He says, "I'm not a businessman. I'm a business man."
Gotcha. Shout out to the Hova.
That's right. Apparently, Ariana and Dalton couldn't make it work post-COVID. They hooked up in 2020. Yeah, it was one of those COVID romances. My advice to Ariana is, I'm assuming she has some pretty ironclad, what are those called? Prenuptials. But, you know, don't rush into marriage every time. Give it a couple years, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. I'm pouring through this article trying to figure out who Dalton Gomez is. I'm not finding the answers I need, but
now was she just at Wimbledon?
She was at Wimbledon, that's right. And she sparked concern from the fans because she didn't have her ring on at Wimbledon. So, you know, all the single ladies, I think she was one of them. So that's that. Sophia and Joe also divorcing. Will there be a spouse swap? We don't know. Would it work? Joe Manganiello is a massive guy. He's what, like 6'3", 6'4"? You've interviewed him, right?
I have not. No,
Oh, really?
Never. No.
He's big. He's muscular. You know, he's an imposing figure. And Ariana Grande is like 5'2". And, you know.
He's an imposing figure like our man Shuki Diamonds here.
Look who's imposing behind us.
What's up, Los
There's
Angeles?
Shuki making his first appearance here on the pod. Say hello, Shuki.
We miss you. I want to say hello to the world and to our best community, Los Angeles. Why don't you guys come by?
Wait, speak up a little more for Joe. Joe's doesn't have a microphone.
Yo, Joe, we love you. Thank you for the show up. Number one show in the world. Number one show here with Dante. Los Angeles, come by. 12th and Main. We give it, if you come by right now, okay? Shuki shirts, you know, come on over. I want to see some audience. Every Monday, 2 o'clock, the world famous show right here, live. So spread the word, Shuki says.
The studio looks great. You've expanded. He has this parasol kind of. We'll give you a tour after this, but the studio looks great. There's been a lot of improvements. The paint, and we're really building here.
We are doing hard work slowly but surely. We're gonna make it beautiful. We want to invite every Monday 2 o'clock the audience around the world, the audience local. You know, come and mingle, come and socialize, and come and promote your businesses. Every streamers, every people out there, come on over. Let's hang around, lunch on Shuki. Come by. Let's bring up the e-commerce, the social networking right here, 1200 South Broadway. We have a lot of people coming in. We want to make it bigger and bigger.
Building a community here.
Yes, sir. We want to
network.
We want to have happy hour every Monday, 2 o'clock. So I want to see as many as people as they can come here and have got good ideas and go live, you know.
We could have green tea. We could have Gold Peak iced tea.
Yeah.
We could have, you know, your spritzers.
Healthy stuff.
Yeah, healthy stuff.
Healthy
it's
with
LA,
the best shows.
baby. It's LA.
Let's do it, baby.
And then you hit Del Taco on the way home.
Del Taco, yeah. We go back to natural way.
We love Shuki, man.
I love you guys.
Look at that outfit that Shuki's wearing. Shuki's outfit.
Flawless diamond. And if you don't know Shuki, You must be a rookie.
It's perfect for summer. If you need a cool summer outfit, if you're going to Vegas or you're going, on vacation or something, look at that. That's beautiful.
And he'll do custom stuff. If you have a design idea, just get a hold of Shuki through his website or come to the studio, and he will, commission. You can commission Shuki to create your own personalized piece, and I highly recommend that.
Definitely, we do Beverly Hills homes, mansions. We do, you name it. We are there, $1 million and above, baby. But if you want to come down to the correct price, 12th and Main. That's
right.
Where it starts.
That's right, baby.
Yeah. And of course, jewelry. All your jewelry needs. This guy's got
bling,
luggage.
If you got the bling and show the bling, you're doing it.
That's right.
And got to check his music out. I play your music every day.
Thank
man.
you. I love you. I appreciate you so
dude.
much.
Yeah.
This is the moment I can express myself. Thank you so much for the love you're giving me out there. Thank you for the audience, the listening. You've been blasting my music, and I appreciate Shuki Diamond, Flores Diamond. Pull up, Shuki, pull up. Yo, I'm dropping right now a new single, July 21st, called $1 Million and above, baby. In a stream everywhere. And I want everybody to listen to it. It's a good spirit. It's a good energy. It's to give everybody to believe from nothing to $1 million and above. Think big.
$1 million and above is what he promised us also for doing this. So that's the goal.
That's an easy goal. If we do it and we push it, I think that this goal can go huge.
Absolutely.
And $1 million, look, Elon Musk started from nothing, and look at this way.
It's not
2.4 trillion. So all we need is not even 1%.
That's right.
And we'll do the $1 million and above.
We're building the next
We have to have the
SpaceX
dream.
here.
If we don't dream, we don't do it. But with you guys here, I think we can do it. Look, the show, I believe on you guys' show. You guys have the best show in Hollywood.
That's right.
I really believe it, and I want to take it to a different level.
Thank you.
We're going to have billboards. We're going to do whatever it is to make it that famous and bring the people here. We give away clothing. We give away lunches. We give away a lot of good stuff. We just need to have the build-up and the audience to come, show up, show some love.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Thank you for your time. So
to get the inside scoop on what's on our business deliberations.
I know you guys are going to be part of our negotiations. You're going to be acting as our lawyers.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah.
No, but it's fun. We're putting together some good stuff here. It's going to be great. And off camera here, we have a couple of interviewers as well. Would you like to join in? Would you like to join the stream? Okay, we'll come back to Sophia and Joe in just a moment. Here we go. Come on in here. We have Sitlali.
Sitlali is going to interview us.
Yeah.
She's a musician, but she's also a professional red carpet interviewer. She has her own
there you go.
platform.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm also live
You're
here.
live here.
On my platform.
And live on her platform.
It's kind of hard to read the yellow, but that's the name of my show.
Here,
Yeah.
I'll put it right for
Yeah,
1
yeah.
second. Sorry about that. Take a look at that up close.
Yeah.
Check her
Or just
out.
find my name somewhere, anywhere on the internet.
There it is. It's on the internet. You can find it.
Yeah.
So,
So I wanted to interview you guys a little bit about what you do yourselves, but also, what are you guys doing here with Shuki? What's your deal?
Well, we both met Shuki through,
we met him through a mutual colleague
Right.
who likes to remain unnamed.
Yeah.
So we'll keep him
my
out
platform knows him as, you guys may remember him as Roy, R-O-Y, Roy, the real of everything.
Oh, wow.
Doesn't
Hilarious,
even equate,
hilarious.
but yeah, we both met him through a mutual friend, and working with TMZ, we worked closely with the money team.
That's right.
Floyd Mayweather. So it's a big conglomerate of individuals, and Shuki's a part of that, network.
Yeah.
And so it's just through networking, and sometimes you just vibe with a certain person. He saw something in both of us where he really liked us.
Yeah.
And he said, you guys are doing your thing out here. You're on the streets, you're doing interviews, you're doing news. And he said, let's work together. And we both were like, yeah, let's work together. Because Dante and I have worked together for a decade.
That's right. We were there. I was there at TMZ up until just about a year ago, and branched off now, started my own show. here on YouTube, the Dante Greco Show, which my fans know. And ever since then, it's just been a lot of commentary, some interviews, and just trying to build up an audience, build up a brand, pretty much covering the news in a comedic way, trying to give my real takes, trying not to be somebody who's repeating any talking points or having anybody decide what's said. I say as much as I can within the limits of the platform so that I don't get bounced off and canceled, so to speak.
Yeah. Well, I know you guys have your viewers, but for mine who don't know you, why don't you guys drop your names, drop the names of your shows?
Absolutely. I'm Dante Greco. I'm at the Dante Greco Show on TikTok and on Instagram and on YouTube. That's DANTEGRECO.
So my name's Joe, and my channel is on TikTok, Joy of Everything. We cover a lot of celebrity events, but we also go to museums, cultural events, car shows. I like to showcase Los Angeles and beyond, the diverse, culture here. It's a melting pot of the world. And I do what I did at TMZ, but instead of like the sensational headline, I got to get the news soundbite, I just like to celebrate pop culture. So come to my channel, The Joy of Everything, if you want to see a celebration of popular culture from the 60s, 70s, 80s, today, and it's limitless. And we have a great community here on TikTok.
Yeah. So I know you talked about it a little bit, but what kind of topics do you usually talk about, like on your shows online? And what topics are you covering right now before I walked in?
I do a lot. Like I'll talk about what TMZ has posted. Right now, we're talking about Sofia Vergara and Joe Manganiello's surprising divorce. We're talking about Ariana Grande and her divorce now. We're talking about Lindsay Lohan. We're going to talk about that in a second. She just gave birth to a baby boy, her first. And anything that's interesting going on in the news and just trying to be funny about it, but like really funny and not like a jerk, like, oh, these people suck. It's not one of those things. It's just trying to find the real humor in our human existence, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just very similar. I cover current events. I'll be at the event. So today I covered the actors strike at Disney, and we spoke with Kristen Ritter. Last week we talked to Adam Ruins Everything. Is that the Adam Conover? Mm-hmm. But tonight we're going to an auction, a Disneyland collectible auction. So I'll be streaming that all live, and then I'll be also piecing together some snippets. But yeah, that's about it.
Joe picks the right strikes to go to. I went to the strike over at the Sony Studios in Culver City, and I thought I was going to have a big moment live streaming. I didn't even go live because, unfortunately, look, I support them. They're doing it, but there were no celebrities there, and it wasn't a big enough crowd. So I had to make the executive decision as a content, streamer to not go live. So I'm hoping that maybe someone big will show up there because that's the one that's closest to where I live.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to pull the plug. And sometimes what I've learned in this town is, hey, if it's not working, just keep moving.
Right.
You got to stay mobile. And even if you circle back, and that's true in anything in life, it's like if you get stagnant in whatever you're doing, just move, do something else for a little bit, but then circle back and see how the rhythm goes. It's about rhythm.
That's right.
You got to have a rhythm. You do the same thing every day, and if it sometimes gets stagnant, that water starts to get still a little bit, you got to mix it up and just keep moving. My viewers know I can't sit in one place for more than 10 minutes. I'm having a hard time right now.
Yeah, well, that's really interesting. I hope a lot of my viewers go over to you guys' show and check out what you guys do over there. But let's get back to Shuki a little bit. I mean, we're here in his store. He comes on your show a little bit. What do you guys usually talk with him about? Any new plans that he has?
It started, my first couple interviews with Shuki were talking about, the jewelry that he's made for Floyd Mayweather or Antonio Brown or any number of celebrities, and showing out. He's got these diamond fingers that are worth $1 million. Did he bring one? Did he show you one?
I had it during my first interview with him.
Yeah.
But I don't think he has it today.
No, it's probably better not to just have it laying around here. But that's what I talked about. And now, as we've gotten closer and we're collaborating, it's just talking about whatever's going on. I'll have Shuki come down and sit and just talk about what's going on in the news. It's interesting to hear anybody's opinions on what's happening. So that's what I try to pretty much do. We're all part of this collective conversation, basically.
in
Yeah.
in the future, this is kind of what our plan is, and we'll tell you a little bit. We want to conjoin our forces, keep our own identities.
Right.
You know, like at TMZ, Dante and I didn't have our own identities. We worked for a news organization. As reporters, we had to do what editorially what the executives want. Now we have the flexibility and freedom to be our own real producers. And so what we want to do is have a network here where we have a studio and we do podcasts, we do shows, and this is kind of our home base. But then we have our freedom to have our own shows too. So it's basically a collective, and we want to bring other people in, other creators, other musicians, other filmmakers, and other artists, you know, and just kind of be a celebratory thing.
Kind of creating a network, you know, a network with different shows that covers similar but different things. And like you said, it's our own, what we find interesting, what we want to talk about and show, but under one umbrella.
Exactly. Yeah, that's kind of the vision right now, and it's coming together.
Yeah,
that's amazing. I want to know a little bit about how you guys got started. Like, how long ago did you decide that like this is what you wanted to do? This was endgame.
well, for me, I was an aspiring actor years ago. Didn't quite work out, as you can tell, because you never seen me in anything. And I was going to go back to school for journalism. And then I got the TMZ job, which was just a confluence of all these different interests of mine, which was performing. Because like we're out there asking the questions, we're writing it, entertainment, comedy, news, all of it coming together in one thing. And then I got the job and I stayed there for 10 years. And once I left, I wanted, as Joe just referenced, I wanted the ability to decide what I wanted to talk about and cover and be more on camera. I'm not going to lie. Should have been on camera the whole time, but now we finally have that chance through the magic of the internet and social media.
10 years at TMZ, they never put either of us on camera, and it was a crime.
Shuki Diamond puts you on camera.
That's right. There he is.
Diamond, flawless diamond. If you don't know Shuki, you must be a rookie.
That's right.
Sure.
And I have a very similar way of it happened for me. I moved to Los Angeles after graduating college. I had my own show in college and did news and broadcasting, got a master's in communication, and wanted to move to LA. And I moved to LA and I worked in the industry probably 6 years as a production assistant on a lot of different shows, made zero money. And I was close to calling it quits. And then I got the job at TMZ. And then just 10 years later, you know, was at TMZ for 10 years as a staff member. And it was a great experience. Don't get me wrong. But there wasn't much freedom to do any content creation, any acting gigs. A lot of times if people wanted us to appear on a TV show, we couldn't sign.
Couldn't do it.
Yeah. Because there'd be moments where we'd be on someone's reality show, like Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And then they'd want us to sign a waiver and we just couldn't be on it.
Or even you would meet celebrities who would be like, hey, I got a story, or hey, I want to do an interview about this. And I'd say, listen, you know, I know you want to do that, but like, I'm sorry, I can't guarantee that they're going to run it. I don't even know if it's worth meeting up with you to talk about this, because it was very, as we know, news focused, and not just like, hey, this happened 2 weeks ago. It was like pretty much what was happening that day, or predicting what was going to be getting clicks. So it was constraining in that regard.
Yeah. And then I would interview people that I really admired, like, let's say, even I don't want to use the wrong example of admiring someone who's let's say, gosh, Corey Haim, right? He passed away. They might be like, oh, he's old news, Corey Haim. To me, Corey Haim's a legend. Why I want to interview Corey Haim, you know? License to drive, come on, you know. And so now I'm able to, if I interview someone like Corey Haim who's passed away, but like someone like him from the 80s, I can publish it. Before, it would get back to the office at TMZ and they say, oh, well, he's old news.
Right.
Not in my book.
Corey Haim would have loved the joy of everything.
Yeah,
I know that.
Yeah, I know. Thanks, man.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I never knew about any of that. So this is really like
it's all about
the insights.
Hollywood's very ageist.
Right.
Yeah.
It's very ageist.
Thank God we're both like what are you, 25? We got plenty of
I'm
time.
27 forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still 21 legally, but biologically, probably not. Yeah, so that's pretty much what we're just trying to do. We're trying to grow and build up our
Yeah.
brand with what we find interesting.
And there's a lot of built-up creativity that we have, and that's why you're seeing a flurry of content that's not going to end. If it ends, it's going to be 10 years from now, because for 10 years, we kind of weren't free to do the kind of stuff we wanted to do. So
Yep.
let's go.
Yeah, that's absolutely very valid, guys. I'm super happy that you guys are doing your own thing now. You're able to let your wings flourish, and you know.
Can I just take a moment for a second? There's a guy that's been trolling me for like 12 years, and he's a former colleague. He can't help himself. Dante knows him.
I know who it
Dante,
is.
my frame. He won't stop.
What does he want?
I don't know. Jeremiah.
What do you want, Jeremiah?
Relax. It's gonna be okay. Everything's okay. Like, just dial it back and let us get through the show. I'm reading as many comments as I can, and I've seen like 6 or 7 trolls.
The only way to neutralize him, we're just gonna have to have him here, sitting in the background.
Which is fine. I think he's hilarious.
Come
He's a
on down.
funny
We'll send you
guy,
the address, okay?
But he cannot. He's a keyboard warrior.
It's so good.
It's just
But yeah, it's great to be able to do that. Yeah, I was really, before I started at TMZ, it was getting pretty low.
Yeah.
I remember the last job I had before that, I had made a decision. Before that, I'm leaving the entertainment industry for good. And I took a job where, no offense to anybody, but it was to sell water filtration systems. And I found myself training for that, walking in, I don't even know where I was. And then we're going in and being like, hey, what do you guys do for your water? Do you need a water filtration system? It's like, the market was probably already saturated. So luckily I got the TMZ thing and it pulled me out of that. Otherwise this would have been way worse. I would probably look significantly older right now too from the stress. Oh,
Yeah,
perfect.
like,
We've been
letting
blessed.
us sport the merch.
We have been blessed.
This is so cute. Matches my outfit too.
You can win this. We don't know how yet, but we'll figure out a way.
Absolutely.
Come right now.
Come right now. You give him one.
Come right now. You can have this. It's hot today. It's sunny. We had a long string of cloudy days here in LA at the beginning of the summer. It was horrible. We didn't know if the summer was ever going to return, but it has with a vengeance. You're going to need a hat.
Yeah.
Come on down.
Los
12th and Main.
Angeles on the corner of 12th and Main, right?
That's right. There's a big picture of Shuki in the
Yes.
window too. So
Yeah.
you'll know that it's his store.
my man looks like Gilligan over here.
Skipper!
I'm more like
Skipper! I do. I look like Bob Denver. Shuki, what are you doing to me?
Love Bob Denver.
Where-
I look like Bob Dole's son.
That's right.
Whoever that is.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for this interview.
Thank you.
So nice to get that inside scoop with you guys. Why don't you drop your socials and the name of your show once again, so everyone can know here, and you can drop mine so everyone can go watch that video when I post it later.
Awesome.
Joy of everything. Primarily on TikTok,
No,
but on
no,
all
no,
platforms. Thank you, my man. Thank you, my man.
Security.
You know what? Because you bought the hat, I'm gonna give you a surprise. Both of you, best restaurant in Beverly Hills. You can eat, but don't eat too much. But you eat up to $2,000.
He's taking us to
Okay,
the
but take your
Cheesecake
time.
Factory for
Or
$2,000.
Norms. Which one you want? Norms or Beverly Hills?
Beverly Hills.
Wow.
Beverly Hills, you choose, okay?
I don't-
Caviar, no caviar. Okay, lobster. I know you like
It's
lobster.
not
Oysters,
safe to eat
oysters.
$2,000
You
worth
gotta
of norms.
advertise Shuki, so at
Oh,
least
yeah.
I can bring the name to the fame, so I can pay the rent tomorrow while I'm
Yeah.
putting the American Express into the lobsters.
Keep the tag on it,
Just
too. It's
swipe
stylish.
the
No, why
American
don't you
Express right into the
why don't
lobster.
You invite one of the best supportive fans to eat with us dinner one of those days in Beverly Hills. Come on.
That's true.
Paying. Let's do it.
You
Come
too.
on. We
Now
want to see some action.
There we
We
go.
party with Shuki. We party.
That's
Let's
a prize.
Go. Let's go.
Absolutely.
And I'm at the Dante Greco Show. Again, that's DanteGreco on YouTube and TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff. So you can follow me there.
Yeah. Amazing.
But actually, particularly TikTok, I'm trying to get over that 1,000 follower limit that you need to go live. I only started there recently, so I'm trying. It's a build. It's the climb, as
I
Miley
think you're gonna
Cyrus
get there
would say.
soon, like today or tomorrow.
Right.
You heard it, guys. Go follow him on TikTok. Let him go live.
Thank you. And please, for all of my fans and followers, sit lolly on. If I can get this thing to focus.
It is tough to focus.
And I'll put this in the description also, but there it is.
CITLALIE.
Follow her there. And here's a QR code if anyone's got their phone right now by chance.
Well, it was a pleasure. You're great at interviewing.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The future's bright for you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for having me on your show.
You got it.
Pleasure. You guys are lovely. Y aquí estamos, Citlali, de Conceptas con Citlali, y nos vemos en la próxima. Muchísimas gracias.
Nice.
Awesome. Thanks. That was a lot of fun.
That was fun. Thank you.
This is great.
Put my regular hat back on.
No, don't let Shuki see that.
I'm gonna
Put that on top of
I'll
your
put it on
regular hat.
top.
Here's another one of his hats, by the way, if you want it. I don't know if there's somewhere to display it. I'm going to put it up there. Hold on. There it is. Hat, shirt combo. To be ready for summer. You're going to have a Shuki summer. All right. So,
All right, what's next?
what were we talking? What are you? I feel like we've been neglecting your viewers. Do they have any questions? Anything?
If you guys have any questions, this is weird seeing you, Joe. Oh, because I'm usually not on camera. Oh, that's cool. I hope it's not too weird.
Is that Harvey?
The other day, someone said I look tired, and I was kind of explaining that you probably shouldn't tell people that. Like even if you think they look tired, And I heard people say it as if it's just common.
Sure.
Like a common thing you tell someone, and it's not the best idea to tell someone they look tired. It doesn't make people feel good. It doesn't make you look good either.
The man's been working hard.
I hear friends and family members say that to each other. They shouldn't.
You look tired.
Yeah. And the actors strike has been interesting, and I think it's going to open up some possibilities for us. In spite of not having as many film premieres to cover, I think there's going to be plenty of breaking news around the actors strike.
That's right. We're not scabs. We're not going to be crossing the picket line, but we will be there to cover whatever happens. Speaking of the actors strike and the writers strike, and Disney, they had the Haunted Mansion premiere at Disneyland just yesterday, and everyone said
day before yesterday. Yeah.
Okay, and everyone was like, "No, that's fine. Listen,
I was there. I was there.
Facts.
I went.
You went to Disneyland,
but I didn't go inside. Yeah.
Oh no.
What was that?
Is that my phone? Oh, that's my computer. Sorry. I can't figure out how to turn that off. All right. And everyone was like, why? Okay, you don't have the actors. Why are you releasing a Halloween movie in the middle of blistering hot July? Why not release it in October? It's not like it can't be on streaming 2 weeks later anyway. You can release it October 1st, let people see it in theaters for a few weeks, and then right in time for Halloween, you release the thing on Disney Plus.
That
Iger, are you thinking?
It might. I don't know. The only reasoning I can see is that they are about to close the Haunted Mansion for the Halloween overhaul, which I'm not a big fan of because I'm an OG, guys. Sorry if you love Nightmare Before Christmas, if you love Tim Burton, it's awesome. It's a great thing. It's just it interferes with my favorite ride of all time, the original Haunted Mansion. So they basically take it out and it's gone.
And then they do Nightmare Before Christmas Haunted Mansion?
Yeah, but for 2 months, actually 2.5 months, the ride is dormant. There's nothing going on because they're doing an overhaul.
It takes that long.
Yeah, it takes a long time. So the problem I have with it is that the ride is closed for 20% of the year, and that's just unacceptable. Maybe it's like 17%, but let's not get into semantics here.
Yeah,
but that's my big gripe with it.
Well, they had Disney cast members walking the carpet. Oh, thank you, Shuki.
Dude, thank you, Aquafina.
Oh, you can win an Aquafina from Shuki if you come down right now. Yeah, they had cast members down there walking the carpet. Somebody on Twitter made a clever observation. They should have just had nobody walking the carpet and claimed that it was ghosts.
Right. Someone said you're wrong. It takes 2 weeks. It takes like 3 weeks, but it's twice because they have to do it each time.
Right.
I was talking collectively over the year. It's probably, and I didn't want to get into semantics, but if you want to be the X-Acto knife in this, be my guest.
Right. Well, yeah. So I don't know what you guys think about that, but it's just Halloween. I literally thought it was coming out at Halloween. I was surprised to see that it was coming out.
Yeah,
in
they
July.
should have released it Halloween, I think. But
missed a golden opportunity.
But yeah, the actors weren't there. It was just like producers and because they can't promote. That's part of their thing. They can't promote.
Yeah, no, you can't show up. The Oppenheimer cast had to show up to the Oppenheimer premiere. They moved it up an hour so that they could be there, and then they all just disappeared in a cloud of nuclear smoke.
Yeah. And so now the red carpet turns into the picket lines. We will be covering that and seeing celebrities probably daily.
Right.
I think daily. We'll be seeing, like this morning, the first person I saw, Kristen Ritter. I got out of my car and you guys saw me. I streamed it live. As soon as we got to the picket line, we saw a major Hollywood icon, Kristen Ritter.
Kristen Ritter, is this from Breaking Bad?
Yeah,
and Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 123?
Yes, she was the lead actress in that. Yeah, she's great. It
was a Quibi show, right?
Yeah,
that was so, one person who probably is welcoming the strike in a way is Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling. They've been around the world promoting Barbie nonstop. They're probably happy to get a little break since it's coming up this weekend. It's like, hey, listen, okay, we don't have to show up in Westwood now.
That's true. Yeah, but they did do their big premiere at the Shrine right just before the strike started.
That's right. Real quick, let's talk about Lindsay Lohan. She had her baby. If anyone's been following the Lindsay Lohan saga for 20 years, it's culminated in a birth. Baby boy, with her husband, forget his name. He's in Dubai. I'm trying to find the story, but I'm happy for her. I'm happy that she seems to have sorted it all out. She seems to have, rebounded in a way. I think it was good to get away from Hollywood and get away from this whole scene and just go start kind of a quiet life overseas where she now has a baby. And I heard her mother has been there the whole time supporting her. And I'm sure Michael Lohan's walking around somewhere trying to figure out how to make money off of it. And Allie is I'm sure around, but I'm happy to see this, considering Lindsay Lohan, by the way, was one of the founding stories, in my opinion, of TMZ. There were a few things. There was the Mel Gibson police report. Then there was Michael Richards. Then Lindsay Lohan, that summer of 2007, kind of carried the whole thing because TMZ started back 2006, 2007. And of course, Michael Jackson put him on the map. But Lilo, and of course, the Kardashians then kept us employed for several years. So I'm always appreciative of the Kardashians for that. But Lindsay Lohan is a bit of a throwback tabloid star now. She's not really in the tabloids anymore, which is a good thing.
She was at the tail end of her Hollywood kind of experience when I just got there. And I interviewed her 3 or 4 times. And there was a bizarre setup where I was in her garage. I interviewed her in her garage. It was like, go meet Lindsay in her garage. And that was when I first got there. It was bizarre. And she's a real sweet person.
Yeah.
And I'm glad she got out. She got out at the right time and she's made a good life for herself,
I knew those guys that she allegedly kidnapped. She didn't really kidnap them, but she was driving around in a car with them and wouldn't let them out or something. Remember that story?
Yeah.
I knew those guys socially a little bit. I wasn't great friends with them, but it was weird to see. I have to admit, I was a little bit jealous that they were getting interviewed on TV by Harvey Levin back then. And then who knew just a few short years later,
you'd be working there.
I'd be working there doing the interviews.
Yeah. And then she was with Samantha Ronson. I used to interview her all the time. She was always at LAX.
Yeah.
And I just learned that Mark Ronson is her brother. I didn't even know that. And I don't really know who Mark Ronson is to this day.
Yeah, he was their father was a successful guy in the music industry too, but Mark Ronson I think is he was Amy Winehouse's big producer, and that put him on the map.
Oh wow.
And then Samantha, his sister's a DJ. So what else is going on out there? Any questions?
If you guys have any questions, we'll take some questions from the chat. If you guys have any.
This story is crazy, by the way. Carly Russell, the girl that disappeared in Alabama and then showed up back at her home a couple days later.
I don't know this story.
Oh yeah, she went missing because she saw allegedly she saw a toddler walking on the side of the freeway at night in Alabama, and she got out to investigate. She was on the phone with her family at the time, and then they hear a scream. The call goes dead. She's gone. No one knows where she is for a couple of days until she shows up at her parents' home. And now everyone's like, oh, this must have been fake. That's predictably what people think. They were faking it, or maybe the boyfriend was involved. Who knows? He had to make a statement on Instagram denying any involvement. And new details are emerging. She was found unresponsive but breathing after returning to her parents' home 48 hours after vanishing. To me, that's like, you're not going to show up. What does she have them choke her out before dropping her? No, I don't think so. I think something nefarious definitely happened to this young woman.
Is she okay though? Like
she's okay. She's
like
recovering.
Stable condition?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. I don't think she was injured in any way necessarily. I mean, aside from the trauma.
What's your theory as to what happened?
Initially, I thought that this story became so big, even though you hadn't heard of it, but the story became so big. But I follow this all day long. You're out there. I'm always reading stuff because my show is more news, like talking about news focused. So that the story got so big, they made the smart decision to say, hey, you know what? Let's just put her back, just drop her off. We're not going to go to the ultimate end here. It's better this way. There's too much heat. Let her go, which is great. If that's what happened, they let her go. Bye. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
So nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. It's just a really spooky story.
Yeah.
Very weird.
Let's see. We had there was something somebody asked about. Jamie Foxx. They want to update. Dante covers the Jamie Foxx scenario. So can you update viewers on Jamie Foxx?
Yes. So all of a sudden last week, we had heard nothing concrete about Jamie Foxx's condition. And there were rumors, AJ Benza's coming out saying that the guy took a COVID shot. And then next thing you know, he's suffering from partial paralysis and partial blindness. Other people speculated it was, stress. There was a blood clot. We didn't know. What was firm was that he was recovering at a Chicago area facility that specializes in traumatic brain injuries. And we didn't hear anything other than his daughter coming out and saying, no, he's okay. He was playing pickleball last week. Well, okay. She might just be trying to protect Jamie and, ward off the eager public. Then all of a sudden last week, he's showing up everywhere in Chicago. People catch him on a boat. It was one guy's birthday. It was his lucky day. He got a video of Jamie passing by on a yacht, waving. And then the next day, someone got a video of him at a Top Golf. And then a couple days later, he flags down a woman who dropped her purse, and he gets out of the car and he gives it to her and he's smiling and he says something to her. So it seems like Jamie is back. He still has not commented. And I know a lot of people on my videos were saying, oh, that's not him. That's a clone. To which I thought, look, are they really going to use, if they have cloning technology that is so advanced, why would you use it on Jamie Foxx? No offense to Jamie Foxx, but it's not that important for national security for Jamie Foxx to have a clone, a fully functional, fully grown clone of Jamie Foxx put out there. I don't know what would be the agenda there. I think that the guy just finally got back to a point where he's able to go out. He's walking around. He's having fun. Seems to have full movement of his arms and legs and all of his faculties, and he can see and all that. I think he just finally reached a threshold where he's able to get back into the world. And for whatever reason, he's keeping it private. People were saying, well, no, I'm not going to believe it until he makes a video saying, I'm Jamie Foxx and I'm okay. As if that couldn't be deep faked or something, you know? So
Right.
I think when he's ready, he'll make a statement. We're probably close to that point, considering that all this stuff's getting out there. The guy's just taking his time.
Yeah. And I think he's easing back into society.
Yeah.
But if you know Jamie and you've interviewed him, I imagine, right?
A few times, yeah.
He's very, very fun loving.
Yeah.
He's very outgoing, and he doesn't take himself that serious. As an amazing actor as he is, Academy Award, did he won? He won?
For Ray.
Academy Award winning, but he's one of the most
Talented.
Yeah, multi-talented.
Singer, comedian.
The guy's got
actor.
range, singer.
Great
He
comedy
doesn't
special.
take himself that serious. Every time I've interacted with him, he's fun-loving and outgoing. Other celebrities, gotta have me real calculated.
Yeah.
Like,
And
I can't talk about that. Nah, Jamie's like, what's up, man? Man, for real. He'll joke back and forth. He's not afraid because he just doesn't take himself that serious.
Especially for an A-lister. A lot of A-listers will try to keep the A-lister mystique. They won't look at you. They won't talk to you. He was almost every time very engaging, very nice.
So yeah, he's doing it the way he wants to do it, and really happy to see Jamie doing well.
It was terrible to think that he may have been laid up in the hospital suffering from partial paralysis and blindness, as was reported. I thought, God, what an awful end for a guy who's so exuberant and has so much life and can do so many impressions and can sing and like all this, his mind works so quickly.
Yeah.
It was just the thought of that was a real downer.
Yeah.
So
He's in great shape.
Great
Heck of an
shape.
athlete. I saw him at a softball game, the Jamie Foxx softball game. He was making diving catches.
Yeah.
The guy's
pickleball. He just started with this pickleball thing. You didn't want to think the man was never going to pick up a pickleball racket again. So it was it's great to see him back out. He's still, by the way, as I said, all the sightings have been in the Chicago area, so he's probably still hanging around the facility to make sure everything's okay. But I'm just glad the guy's out here getting to enjoy his summer.
Yeah.
Just in time.
Yeah. And everybody wants to know, and I'm sure he'll do some sort of interview where he'll talk about what happened to clear it up. But I just want to know, Jamie, what's the best pizza in Chicago, bro? Sorry.
If I was Netflix, I'd be trying to lock up that Jamie Foxx special right now. Like how Chris Rock waited until his Netflix special. I almost thought he waited a little too long to talk about the Will Smith slap. But when he finally did, it was still a big deal. I thought maybe we'd be over it. They should try to lock up Jamie Foxx for either, I don't know if he wants to laugh about it, but like some kind of special where he can talk about it.
We'll talk about,
Yeah. Not that we're have anything to do with Netflix or I'm on Netflix's side, especially during the strike.
Right.
But he'll speak when he's ready to.
Exactly. What's our time looking like?
We are at 48 minutes. We could probably take a few more questions if you'd like, or whatever. We're just hanging out today.
Someone asked the best advice on moving to California. That's the last question I got.
Do you want to move to LA? Because that's tough. LA is hard it's so expensive right now. Unless you know somebody or you're financially stable. I don't know if I would move to LA. There's a lot of nice areas even Northern California can be tough depending on where you're going.
Yeah.
Salinas? Where's that?
The way I moved, my friend had he was staying with a family friend, and the rent was cheap, and there was an extra room, and I just jumped on it. And I commuted into the city from Diamond Bar. I mean, you have to have a car.
Right.
You have to have a car. So just have your ducks in a row and have some type of a stream of income. And then you can find reasonable places. I mean, you know, you can get a studio apartment probably for $1,500 in North Hollywood.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Go to the Valley. If you're gonna come here, go to the Valley. I don't know. Maybe go to Austin and be part of the stand-up comedy boom. Do you do stand-up?
Do you do stand up?
You can link up with Tony Hinchcliffe.
What do you think of the film The Sound of Freedom?
Haven't seen it. I don't even know if they show it here in LA. To be honest, I haven't seen it listed anywhere.
Really? They have it in Orange County.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I only go to one theater anyway. The only theaters that I like are Cinemarks. I think they do it the best. Every other theater has not caught up to Cinemark. They have the best luxury lounge recliners, so you can lay back and watch a movie. I think it's odd how some people are trying to make it sound like I haven't seen it. I've only read a little bit about it. I don't know why there would be an opposition to it. You know, I don't think some people are trying to like maybe like, oh, that movie's crazy or whatever. I don't know. Is it? It's based on a true story.
Yeah, I think it's just the stuff that has been said by producers and actors outside of the film's narrative that has caught the attention that's caught negative attention, I guess.
Yeah.
I think Jim Caviezel is a brilliant actor. I got a chance to meet him once. I love Frequency. If you've ever seen that movie, it's one of the greatest movies I've ever seen with Dennis Quaid. Dennis Quaid plays his dad, and I know they're intertwined. It's a time travel kind of thing.
Yeah.
And of course, Passion of the Christ. He's an amazing actor, and I don't know. I'm eager to see the movie. I want to watch it.
How you doing, Danielle? Nice to see you here. Yeah, you know, it's a movie. They're trying to make it a crazy thing, link it to conspiracy theories, but I don't necessarily know that it's.
I don't think the movie's like that far out of the bounds of reality. It's based on a true story, and that does exist. You know.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, it's like, are we supposed to pretend that that's not happening?
No.
Or be like, no, this is just a movie. Like, you know, they're making it up.
Right. Oh, The Count of Monte Cristo, too. My sister was just brought up. That's one of the greatest movies ever. I mean, he's insane. I just love Caviezel. He's a great basketball player, Jim Caviezel. Yeah.
Wow.
His brother played college ball for University of Washington. I think it's John Caviezel. They're from Seattle area.
I thought they were making a Passion of the Christ too.
Yeah, they were supposed to.
I interviewed Mel Gibson a few years ago outside Ubaldi. It's one of the only times he ever actually spoke.
No way.
To us.
Wow.
I was like, what's this? What's this I hear about Passion of the Christ 2? And he's like, it's a secret. I was like, all right, well, tell me a little something. He's like, I can't. It's confidential.
Yeah, I thought it was in production.
Yeah.
Weird. You know, as artists, you know, like Mel Gibson has made some great pictures. You know, Apocalypto is a great picture.
Yeah.
Braveheart, of course. You know,
I got to be honest. I've become a fan of post police report getting pulled over. You know, when his career kind of faltered for several years. I've become a fan of post controversy Mel Gibson cinema. I watched some of his movies that were on TV on demand. There's one called Dragged Across Concrete with him and Vince Vaughn.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know if I can recommend it because it's a really intense movie.
Yeah.
It's not like a fun joyride, but it was well done and entertaining and suspenseful and like, you know, really, it was really good, but it's a tough watch.
Is it? Yeah. I think I started They're Cops.
Yeah.
They're
like,
Dirty Cops.
Dirty Cops. Yeah.
I love Vince Vaughn. One of my favorites of all time. I'm a huge Vince Vaughn dude.
Although I will say there's one he did a couple of years ago. Takes place during a hurricane in Puerto Rico. That one you can skip. It wasn't that good. But the other ones are enjoyable. I mean, look, Mel has star quality. That's for sure.
Did you know Jim Caviezel befriended Jimmy Stewart? That's kind of that's who mentored him.
Jimmy Stewart. Wow.
So Caviezel moved to Hollywood, was taking acting classes, wanted to be an actor. That was his big passion. Besides basketball, The guy wanted to be a basketball player first and foremost. Obviously not tall enough, not good enough. It's very tough to be a basketball player. So he's like, you know what? Next best thing, be an actor. Caviezel moves to Hollywood and loved Jimmy Stewart, met Jimmy Stewart he was a waiter, and he got fired because they said, don't talk to Jimmy Stewart. And he said, you know what? One life to live. And he went and talked to Jimmy Stewart, got his address or something, and Jimmy Stewart said, come by. Yeah. And he went and he hung out with in Jimmy Stewart's final days. Wow. That was who he sat and talked to as a mentor.
What did they talk about?
Just Hollywood.
And Jimmy Stewart didn't go to the restaurant and be like, hey.
Oh, yeah, to get him back? No, I think Caviezel
nice
didn't
guy.
care. He it was probably like his little bit of ego, just like, screw you guys. Right. I'm hanging with Jimmy Stewart. I can get a job anywhere.
That's incredible.
Waiting tables.
I had no idea about that.
And of course, he was struck by lightning on the cross on Passion of the Christ.
Oh, yeah. God, I made a mistake seeing that movie. This came out when I was like 18. So, back when I would occasionally smoke weed, which I don't anymore. I don't like it.
Me neither.
It stopped very shortly. It just makes you too paranoid. But
exactly.
I saw that movie, and the scene, it's a they really showed the brutality of what those Romans did. It was tough to watch.
Oh yeah.
Under that type of intoxication. I'd never make that mistake again.
I saw it in theaters in Joplin, Missouri, which is the Bible Belt.
Yeah.
And so there was a huge church group. It was a massive theater. I think this theater sat like 300 people. It was a massive theater. And there's people weeping. It was a tough watch. But from a filmmaking standpoint, it's from a filmmaking standpoint, it's a masterpiece. But I want to get to this question. Someone asked, is there any network show that you would work on? Because people ask if we go back to TMZ. We're not going to touch that right now. Probably not. I don't know.
I mean,
depends.
Not unless it was in this type of form. They started their whole podcasting thing right when I exited and you exited the company, which is annoying.
Yeah.
I would go possibly for something like this, but probably not. I would prefer to build this on my own to keep editorial control. Sometimes I think Barstool, but then I'm not like a real sports guy. I don't want to talk about sports gambling or any of that stuff. No offense. I've interviewed Dave Portnoy a couple times. Always really cool, nice guy. I like the company. I like what they're doing. It's just right now, if we can get this going to work for ourselves, that is what I would prefer. Other than that, I don't even know if there's anywhere out there that really I don't want to go work for a traditional media company or like a traditional network or news network or anything like that.
Well, I know Dante and I both used to be actors and aspiring actors, and we still dabble. I'm sure we would take a role in a series.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And secondly, I would go on a PBS show. Like if they gave me my own show, if someone wants to produce California's Gold, that's the Hugh Hauser, I'll do it. You know what I mean? But in terms of with TMZ, yes, it would have to be on something that like where we had a little more creative control. Mm-hmm. We wouldn't go back to doing the same jobs as much as we need the income. I don't think I could. I couldn't be going back to the same jobs.
Perhaps like The Ringer, because they've got a whole big podcast investment. That's where Van Lathan, our ex TMZ colleague, he's doing a podcast for The Ringer.
I'd work for The Ringer. I love Bill Simmons. Yeah, I would definitely work for The Ringer.
I would do The Ringer.
Yeah, there's networks out there for sure. I worked at Fox. I don't know. That's a story for another day.
Right.
After I worked at Fox Business Network just after TMZ, and I quit. It's hard to quit a job. It's hard, especially a pretty high paid. That job paid
more than
double,
TMZ, right?
Almost double.
Wow.
Almost.
But it's just
I quit.
Quality of life wasn't there.
Oh God, I was working 19 hours. My shift, the workflow was 3 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Gee, how do you have a life?
No,
you got to be like fresh out of college where you don't have anything established really, so you can spend that kind of time.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Any other breaking? It was a slow news day for a Monday.
Slow news
outside
day.
of the strike.
Yeah, let me check TMZ one more time.
But you guys, I'm going to be going to. So there's a quick change of plans for my agenda for the day. I was going to cover Oscar De La Hoya's movie premiere, Golden Boy, but since I have established a rapport with Joel McGee, the owner of the collectibles at Disney, I think I'm going to go to the Disney auction. So I'm going to head over to Burbank, and I want to thank the people at Golden Boy who I spoke with about covering the event. But I'm going to skip that one. I'm going to head to the Disney auction. And I'm sorry if you guys were looking for Andrea. I'm really sorry. It's just that I established, we see Oscar all the time.
Oh yeah.
Oscar De La Hoya is a staple in Los Angeles. He's everywhere, and we'll see him again. But we're gonna do the Disney auction. And then plus I have full access, full media access, and established a relationship. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
I guess one last story to cover here on my show. Sorry, you guys can't see this, but Alex Murdaugh,
What?
the guy who was convicted of killing his son and his wife and all that, South Carolina legal scion, he's taking shirtless selfies from prison. You could pull this up somewhere afterwards. The weird thing is, he lived as a free man for 50, 60 years. The phone has been around. The cell phone's been around. The iPhone came out in 2007. He still hasn't figured out how to take a selfie. These are the worst.
These photos are awful.
They're
dude.
awful.
What is he doing?
And I know you're not going to get a good phone in prison, but gee, come on, man. What is this? His head's cut off. He's mid-yawn in the selfie. I don't know if these are for a dating profile, if they have a prison dating app or not, or what, but
inmate love.
Cell. I don't know.
My grandfather would say, "Put your shirt on."
Yeah, and he's taking these shirtless selfies.
Shirtless,
dude. You're not in that good of a shape yet.
My grandfather hated, I lived with my grandfather, middle school and high school.
Yeah.
And my friends would come through in the summertime. I'm not a type of guy that always walks around with his shirt off,
Right.
But I would have friends come in and then with his shirt off, my grandpa would get so mad. What the hell are you doing here? Put your shirt on. And I totally agree with you, Grandpa. Rest in peace. Don't be walking around here like that, man.
Yeah. Or if you're Alex Murdaugh, don't take pictures of it. Do whatever you want while you're in there. Yeah. I don't care. Whatever's going to make you happy. But man, these pictures are terrible.
Yeah, that's bad.
So
the Murdaugh trial was pretty riveting to watch. And I'm really just the Kohberger trial in case, what do you think? Do you think they're going to allow cameras in the courtroom when that trial finally takes place?
Well, it's a good question. They've been allowing them so far. So I think, Court TV has got to be working the levers to be like, listen, we need this. We need this influx of advertising dollars that's going to come from covering this Kohberger case. I mean, it's a huge case. It, unlike The Haunted Mansion, is going to be premiering in October. And it's going to be fascinating. I hope that they find him guilty, just selfishly, because I made a bunch of videos talking about this earlier in the year. Where, if he gets out, I don't know if he would see these videos and be like, all right, call my lawyer.
Oh, right.
Who knows?
Well, it's the biggest assumption of guilt that I've ever seen before a man ever got that I've ever seen.
I know some people are saying there's questions about the DNA or about the cell phone pings or whatever. I don't know. Is there a better explanation for this? I don't think so.
Right. No, but still, in our country, there's the presumption of innocence.
Definitely.
And the media has it's an onslaught of this guy's guilty. That's and I don't know. It's interesting, and rest in peace to the 4 souls that were taken. That's
absolutely
beyond. It's tragic. And
apparently, Morgan Wallen, the country singer, gave a bunch of tickets to the family of Ethan Chapin, one of the victims, because he heard that Ethan was a big fan of his, so he had them to his concert. That was a nice thing to do.
My girlfriend said he's guilty. So,
I hope you're right.
But yeah, I mean, it's going to be a fascinating. Dante's got some great videos about it. I love the way you cast the movie.
Oh
The
yeah.
Koberger. Dante cast the movie already.
Well, because I
Koberger.
read a story. I'm not just demented. I read a story saying that Hollywood is going to go crazy for the book. This could be the biggest story since Truman Capote's In Cold Blood. The book rights are going to be, and the movies are going to get made. So I thought, okay, if they're going to be talking about it, I'm going to cast it because I have some ideas. You can see that video on my TikTok, by the way. If you just scroll down, it's Ryan Murphy's Koberger, because you know Ryan Murphy's going to get his hands on this IP. And he's going to make something after Dahmer. He's licking his chops.
And they already guessed. We already have a guess on who you cast for Koberger, which is correct.
Who'd you think?
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah,
There's
it's
nobody else.
He's identical. I'm almost not identical, but it's uncanny. They do look alike.
Yeah, he just has to go back to his Nightcrawler look.
Yes,
and
exactly.
He will be Koberger. Someone tried to tell me Adam Driver. I said, "But Koberger's not 6'5" and talks like this."
No.
No, talks more like
Gyllenhaal's the clear. I'm sure Gyllenhaal definitely knows about it.
That's right. Gyllenhaal and Rick from Pawn Stars.
That was my favorite part of that, dude.
As the police chief in Idaho, and yeah, there were some other good ones.
Rick from Pawn Stars, who's brilliant, by the way. I love that guy.
Ashley Banfield from News Nation, played by who's the girl who was on Nashville?
Yeah, the girl with
and she was in the White Lotus season.
My sister likes her, but I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'm not gonna remember her name.
I forget her name too. News Nation. You know what? That's one outlet I might work for because they seem to be covering a lot of the same stuff that I'm already covering.
Is there an unbiased news station? Is ABC unbiased? I like David Muir. I think he's probably my favorite, anchor.
The only guy I listen to consistently is a guy named Michael Smerconish on Sirius XM. He's got a CNN show too on Saturday mornings, but I'm never up that early. But he was he's an independent, and he pretty much, because I got to a point where I didn't want to just hear the spin from either side. I knew there was more to the story on both sides, and I wanted somebody who wasn't going to just give me the liberal or the conservative talking points. So I found a guy who, in my estimation, kind of plays it down the middle and tells you what's happening. So
It's David Smith on it. How do you say it? David
Michael Smerconish. It's on Sirius XM. Yeah.
Is that I think it's Polish.
I believe it, or Hungarian. Or
okay,
Eastern
Eastern European for sure. Yeah, I grew up with a lot of Oniches in Chicago.
Yeah, so I like his show, and I don't know. News Nation has, like I said, they cover a lot of stuff. They got Cuomo there, which I'm not a big Cuomo guy, but he was kind of left leaning. But then they also have people from the right. So I don't know.
So the name is Connie Breton.
Connie Britton.
Connie Britton. Oh, it's spelled Breton.
That's right. Well, yeah, it is.
Okay. And then Kelly says we're both a joy to watch. So it's nice to get your feedback towards the tail end here.
Love it.
Yeah, I really appreciate that.
Well, if there's nothing else, I know you got to get to Burbank, which is no joy to drive.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to head to Burbank, guys, where it's not cold. It's not burr. No. It's hot.
I guess we'll wrap it up. But yeah, thank you, everybody. Thank you for everybody watching on The Joy of Everything. Thank you, everybody watching on my channel. And
yeah, big thanks to Shuki International, Shuki Diamonds for hosting us. Much more to come with him.
He's out here
and much more to come with this duo, and more content coming your way. If you haven't already, please give Dante Greco Show a follow on TikTok.
Please.
We're going to be tuning back in shortly.
Yeah, and we're trying to do this every Monday, or at least as close to every Monday as we can get, where we come down here and do like a show like this to pair with what we normally do in our own respective time.
Exactly. Exactly. Awesome. All right, guys.
Thank you, guys. Shuki says thanks, I'm sure, wherever he is. And I'll see you on the next show. Thanks, Danielle. I will send Evie your love. All right.